I expected you to lose 50 pounds, and you lost 16. Your lack of progress shows me that you aren't really getting this. Wait, Pauline, you gained weight, and you're getting to be 700 pounds. Things need to be changed now. His condition is far worse than 2 months ago. This is not acceptable. Sean is near death right now, so something has to be done.
What happens when a patient's appetite for cringe is worse than their hunger for food? You get people who don't just make you cringe. They make you wince and recoil with secondhand embarrassment. From awkward confrontations with Dr. Now to shocking family drama, some patients go from tragic to downright weird. Whether it's the outrageous excuses or the bizarre eating habits, these patients are the epitome of shamelessness. The poster child for these cringe jiggly pups is Stephen Assanti. He might be the only patient who made Dr. Now lose it with his odd antics.
Stephen Assanti is being transported to my care in Houston right now, and I'm not sure what to expect. From what I understand, he suffers from severe psychological issues that make it problematic to treat him. So he's going to be a unique case.
This looks really yummy!
Dr. Now doesn't exactly know what to expect from his next patient, but everyone's bracing themselves, because Stephen has quite the reputation for being, let's say, difficult. As he's transported to Dr. Now's hospital, the tension in the air is palpable. Stephen is a notorious cringe menace who has already been kicked out of multiple hospitals for his erratic and over-the-top behavior. But can Dr. Now, with all his no-nonsense reality checks, get through to someone like Stephen? Or will Stephen's antics push everyone to the limit once again? Stephen has been kicked out of hospitals many times before, and it's for good reason.
I was living in my dad's truck for approximately a week before I came here because I got kicked out of a previous hospital for ordering a pizza. And now this hospital is asking me to leave because they can't help people my size because I'm too morbidly obese.
Stephen has a track record of being kicked out of hospitals, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. His cringe-worthy entitlement and uncooperative attitude make things unbearable for the medical staff. He's infamous for forcing nurses to do things like wiping him, all while throwing temper tantrums if they dare hesitate. The cringe doesn't stop there. Stephen's meltdowns are the stuff of nightmares, as he yells at the top of his lungs when things don't go his way. It's a situation that's as disgusting as it is uncomfortable to watch.
Hello, are you my nurse? I am on a bedpan. I don't like that. I don't like her. You want to hang up? You son of Die! I'm on the bedpan for a half an hour. I got piss all over my bed. Out of here.
Okay.
I need help. I'll call the cops. Don't with me, broad. Do not.
Mr. Santi, I'd help you if you're hollering at me. I just came in at 7.
I have been on this thing for a half an hour. Hearing people a half an hour. So if you're not in here in 5 minutes, the police will be called.
Stephen's cringe behavior reaches new heights when he starts yelling at hospital staff for not catering to his ridiculous tantrums. He genuinely acts like the doctors and nurses should leave everything and just respond to him, like they're some kind of personal servants. The entitlement is so off the charts that at one point, he even threatens to call the police on them for not responding to his every whim. As if that wasn't enough, the guy even tried ordering pizza in a hospital, despite being on a strict medical diet. That stunt is what got him kicked out of the hospital. You have to wonder, was he craving attention or just extra cheese? Either way, cringe. But was he always this way?
I used food, but I also started posting videos online because I was trying to deal with a lot of anger about my life and my mom. I lashed out at people and did things to get attention. And I feel bad about some of them, but when I lose it, I can't control myself.
This video is just for you taxpayers. Thank you for paying taxes, because without you, I would not have this urinal to pee in.
Sadly, Stephen's cringe behavior isn't just a recent development. It's been a part of his life for a long time. He's relied on food as an emotional crutch, while also being an online cringe poster. One particularly deranged example is that video where he rambles about taxpayers and openly brags about abusing disability payments. Despite all this, Dr. Now gave him a chance to redeem himself and admitted him to the hospital. To nobody's surprise, that soon turned out to be a regrettable decision.
All right, so you seem like you have an issue getting along with hospital staff, and I'm not liking what I'm hearing.
At times, I sometimes I get frustrated. I tell them, if I act like a kid, I want you to treat me like a kid.
How old are you?
I'm 33 years old.
So it's time for you to grow up. It seems like this nurses are getting agitated with your behavior. I don't know what particularly is, but you need to work on that too.
Everybody has feelings.
Yeah.
Dr. Now gave Stephen a golden opportunity, but he refuses to change. Stephen started outright abusing the hospital staff. He insists on being treated like a child, throwing tantrums and expecting the world to revolve around him. When Dr. Now tried to give him a reality check, telling him to grow up because he's a 33-year-old man, Stephen fired back with a comment so dumb and cringe, it left Dr. Now speechless. Stephen's response? Everybody has feelings. Yes, in a conversation about how he's been abusive to the staff. That was his big defense. Dr. Now was probably questioning how many more brain cells he'd lose just by listening to this nonsense.
You got a whole host of complaints from the nurses that you need to change your behavior. You haven't.
I know that, and I apologize for it.
Apology mean nothing. You come here for help, and at this point, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you're done here.
I've been doing good and everything, please.
And unless you have an emergency, you will not be admitted back.
Stephen's cringe behavior reached new heights, and he got kicked out of the hospital yet again. And how did he handle it? Oh, with a tear-filled tantrum, of course. He claimed he was ready to apologize, but his actions spoke louder than any half-hearted sorry. By this point, Dr. Now had enough of his childish antics. The man has dealt with difficult patients, but Stephen was on another level. Completely done with his nonsense, Dr. Now decided it was time to refuse his antics and move on.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't have pain. Just about any movement hurts. And just walking the 20 feet from my bed to my bathroom is extremely painful. My weight has made it almost unbearable to get around. The normal things that everybody does is so hard to do when you're not.
Ashley's life had become a daily struggle, not just from her weight, but also from the cringe-worthy behavior that seemed to make everything worse. She couldn't do the simplest tasks without it feeling like running a marathon, and moving around was practically impossible. Yet, instead of taking responsibility, she found ways to make excuses or blame others for her situation. It wasn't just her size that was holding her back. Her attitude was the real obstacle.
I don't eat that many times during the day, but when I do eat, I eat enough for 2 or 3 meals. My plate alone could probably feed a family of 4. But for that bit of time while I'm eating, it makes everything just disappear. It's like a calm washes over me. It's my comfort. To me, food is like sex.
Ashley's eating habits are, to say the least, a bit extreme. She didn't eat often, but when she did, she ate enough food to feed a family of 4. Admitting this kind of behavior is embarrassing enough, but Ashley takes it up a notch with cringe-worthy justifications. She openly compares her cravings for food to sex. Despite knowing full well that her eating habits are a serious issue, she justifies it in the most bizarre ways.
When staying in the truck, people still stare. Just because of my size.
But you know, I'm gonna pray for you. You can make it. God bless you.
I just hate being stared at. To me, it's the same as if a person doesn't have any legs. You don't stare at somebody. I mean, you just don't do that.
That interaction was genuinely painful to watch. Not only did this stranger say unwanted things about her, but Ashley also seemed to put on a full performance. It's always awkward when someone randomly comments on someone else's life, but in this case, Ashley had a point. Her health struggles are her own. Yet, there's also the undeniable truth that Ashley was clearly deflecting and placing blame elsewhere. It's almost like a cringe spiral where everyone involved is doing their own version of self-sabotage.
It's gonna kill me. I don't want to lose my life, and I don't want to lose the things that make me happy. I'm throwing my life away for food. What kind of person does that make me? Why can't I just put it down?
Ashley's relationship with food is tragic, as she's fully aware that she's killing herself by eating so much, yet can't seem to let go of the habit. The whole situation is painfully cringe, but surprisingly, despite her struggles, Ashley made remarkable progress. In just a month, she shed 50 pounds, which earned her Dr. Now's approval for surgery. However, even as her health improves, the cringe factor remains, especially when mundane tasks like grocery shopping turn into huge challenges for her.
I turned to food for all my emotions. Now, that's not an option anymore. So, my anxiety levels are through the roof. I get overwhelmed. My heart starts racing. And I feel like I'm getting a panic attack or something. I don't know if I can do this. I just have to have a minute to myself. I'm literally shaking all over.
Ashley's meltdown over being surrounded by food is wild. While the anxiety is real, the over-the-top response feels a bit excessive and almost, well, cringeworthy. The way she reacts when faced with temptation is a bit dramatic. On the bright side, despite all the chaos and cringe, Ashley is making progress, to the point where even Dr. Now is proud of her.
You're down 255 pounds. How does it feel to lose all that weight?
Crazy. It's amazing.
It's been a hard road, but I think overall you're doing very well. Ashley has made great progress, and I'm looking forward to seeing her hit her goal weight in next year or so.
I am so glad for this past year. Now, I can be a part of my family and give back to them.
It's not every day you come across a success story on my 600 pounds life, but Ashley truly stands out, even with all the cringe moments along the way. Despite the dramatic and sometimes over-the-top reactions, change is possible, and it's something to celebrate. Seeing someone finally take responsibility for their life, push through the emotional and physical barriers, and make real progress is incredibly inspiring. Though sadly, not everyone takes this inspiration. Take the next patient, Angela, for example. Similar situation, comparable levels of cringe, but vastly different outcomes.
When I first open my eyes, the very first thing I think of every single morning is, why, God? There's got to be a reason for him doing this, keeping me going. Because every single day of my life is an absolute nightmare. I just feel like I am trapped in this body. And mornings is when I hurt the most out of the entire day. That's when it feels like somebody's holding a torch. Like different areas, my skin was ripping open. It's pain that I can't.
Angela's situation is one of heartbreaking misery, and her circumstances are painful, but the path she's on is largely of her own making. On top of that, her cringeworthy meltdowns and chaotic behavior make her seem like a walking drama. The real tragedy is how she knows she's a prisoner in her own body. She can't move around. Everything that should be a basic part of daily life has become a Herculean task. Sadly, this prison is one she created herself.
Don't say a word. I want some of the ones with chocolate and peanut butter. I always get cupcakes and cookies. I want candy bars, and I always have some ice cream because I'm addicted to sweets. And if we don't have it in the house,
Angela's grocery shopping trip is an absolute spectacle. It's almost criminal for someone her size. Yet she still manages to make excuses as if it's all normal. The way she admits she's addicted to sweets while loading up her cart with enough sugar to give an elephant diabetes is cringe-worthy at its finest. Rolling down the aisles on her disability scooter, she claims that no one understands her struggle, so no one can judge her. It's the kind of rationalizing that makes you wonder if she really sees just how out of control things have gotten. Her friend steps in, decides to help her out, and takes her to Texas to meet Dr. Now. Let's see if Dr. Now can get through to her in a way no one else has managed.
Oh, no.
What?
It's not a handicap.
Oh, she said it was.
No.
There's no possible way. None. It's just a regular full-size bathtub. Can you go ask him about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing I seen was the bathtub. It's not a roll-in shower. How you want them to get in that shower? Do wheelies? I mean, come on. I'm just really pissed. There's not even a handicap seat in there. A lot of people think that's minor. It's not.
Angela's infamous tantrum over the hotel room is one for the cringe history books. She couldn't fit into the bathtub, so the floodgates opened. Complaining about her countless folds being sweaty and dirty, she spirals into a full mental breakdown. It's painful to watch. Thankfully, the appointment with Dr. Now is tomorrow. She has a long road ahead if she's going to face the reality of her health.
I don't feel good at all. I feel really tired. Every part of my body just hurts so bad. So I'm not looking forward to today's car ride. All right, you just...
Getting out of stuff out of your way.
I am so, God, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm 100 pounds bigger than I was yesterday.
Just take your time. You worry about you.
On her way to Dr. Now, she's already complaining, whining about feeling 100 pounds heavier than yesterday. She struggles to get into the car, and the cringe meter goes off the charts. When she finally meets Dr. Now, the truth comes out. She's had weight loss surgery before but relapsed and gained all the weight back. And her excuse? Well, it's ridiculous.
And having failed weight loss surgery once already is a sign that you're likely going to continue that behavior. So tell me what's going to be different this time.
When I had surgery, I had like so many life changes happen. My husband leave me. I lost all that weight and all of a sudden people paying attention to me. I was running a business. In 1 year, I was bombarded. And basically, I didn't have no control.
This is just more excuses because you're saying you went back to overeating because life got hard and stressful. That's never going to change. That's part of life. So I still have the same question. What's going to be any different this time if you have weight loss surgery?
I'm just done. So
That first appointment with Dr. Now was a disaster. She embarrassed herself by throwing out excuse after excuse, each one more cringe-worthy than the last. Her failed weight loss surgery was a huge red flag, but she still tried to dodge responsibility with nonsensical reasoning. After that, missing appointments became her routine, and it was clear she wasn't willing to cooperate. Finally, after a lot of back and forth, Dr. Now set up a call with her. Let's just say the cringe was about to hit an all-time low.
Because you don't look like you have lost any weight, so you keep making excuses and not coming down here because you're not serious about it.
Okay, you say I don't look like I've lost any weight, but I feel like I've lost a lot of weight.
I think this is an error lie you keep telling everyone. Because if you have lost the weight, you wouldn't be avoiding coming back to show me your progress.
Her progress has been non-existent, just more whining and excuses. She went on to make a fool of herself during her call with Dr. Now, claiming she felt like she had lost weight, despite clearly avoiding her scheduled appointments. If she really had made progress, why the constant dodging? The lack of self-awareness here is staggering, and it's clear her attempts at playing the victim aren't fooling anyone, especially Dr. Now.
I wake up every day to the same miserable experience. Because my weight has me trapped in this chair all day, every day. And I hate it. All I can do now is eat and sleep. Except on the days where I'm forced to take a bath, which I really hate doing. Me and my wife Beth live with my mom, my sister, and her fiance Keith. And usually it's either my mom or my wife that eventually make me take a bath. But I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Gina's daily life is full of challenges, and it's hard to watch her struggle with even basic tasks like taking a shower. She's so overweight that something as simple as hygiene becomes a mountain to climb. And while it's cringe-worthy that she dreads showering, there's a bigger issue at play: her addiction to food. Gina's relationship with food has spiraled out of control, and she knows it.
Eating, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel happy. It takes away all my pain and depression. So no matter what it's costing me and how much I hate my life, I can't stop. I just want more and more and more.
Gina's admission that she values food over her own life is a tough pill to swallow, and it's one of those moments that hits hard. It's almost painful to hear her openly confess that her addiction has taken such a hold on her. It's cringeworthy, not just because of the self-sabotage, but because of the extent of her problem. When someone's willing to sacrifice their health for their cravings, it's beyond embarrassing. It's a sad reflection of how far things have spiraled. It's gotten so bad that she's aching for a fight whenever she's hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna call her.
Hello?
Hi, babe, where are you?
No, I'm going home.
Oh, okay. Well, can you go to the diner and pick up us some food?
No, we have food at home. I can cook at home.
You're not gonna cook this late.
I can.
No, you're not. What's the big friggin' deal? I don't get it. Just go.
Wait, you gotta call it.
No, you're gonna call because you have to call.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks. Love you. Bye.
You can see the people in that room cringing at that whole interaction. She almost has a complete meltdown over wanting to order food. Her wife, Beth, tries to talk some sense into her, but no. The only thing Gina wants is mouthfuls of unhealthy food. Eventually, she meets up with Dr. Now, and he sets her up on a strict diet with the goal to lose 50 pounds in a month. Will she be able to succeed? But before that, she has another problem. Her sister's wedding is coming up, and Gina is in the mood to be fussy.
I don't feel good.
I can't take you back home.
I know, but it's too much. I'm trying. I just don't think I could go back in there tonight. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
I'm just afraid that Gina's gonna back out.
This was a really bad idea. I don't want to let my sister and my family down, but I just can't do this. And I don't know if I could be there tomorrow because this is just too much for me.
Gina's refusal to attend her sister's wedding because of her weight is a classic display of the victim mindset. It's one thing to feel self-conscious, but making it the main issue at such an important event is just weird. Then, during her second appointment with Dr. Now, things only get worse. Instead of making progress, she actually gained weight. As expected, Dr. Now isn't here for nonsense. He's had enough of the excuses and wasted no time putting her in her place, which is exactly what she needed. The cringe factor, off the charts.
Come on, the reality is you didn't want to change your eating habits, so you didn't. It's as simple as that. So why in the world are you moving down here if you're not following my diet and exercises?
I want to. I feel like I needed the change to move here. You know,
What do you mean you want to?
meaning like I want to have a life. I don't want to die. And what I have been doing, I wasn't the correct way. And I know that I do have the fight in me. I do know that I do have, you know, the passion in me to do this. And now that I'm here, I feel like I'll be more focused. And I don't know, that's what I just think I'll...
Gina's excuses seem to have no limits, and her speech about having the passion to change feels more like an entry into the Cringe Hall of Fame. Her claim that moving to Texas will magically solve her weight issues is baffling. Her weight isn't determined by geography, it's about personal commitment. Dr. Now gives her a final chance with a 2-month window to reach her goals. 2 months later, there's some improvement, but the excuses have only gotten worse.
But at least you're losing some weight now. So what are you doing different this time?
I've been working extremely hard. I'm making all changes, therapy, doing stuff by myself, eating the 1,200 calorie diet, doing exercise. So I've been trying really hard to do everything I'm supposed to be doing.
Then why didn't you lose more?
I honestly, I don't know.
Gina starts with some progress, losing 20 pounds. But the deflection begins almost immediately. Augusta's glute here is already turning blue. She almost literally shuts down like a toddler caught in a tantrum. Instead of engaging, she throws up her hands in defeat. That's more than a healthy dose of cringe, but if, like Gina, you can't control the appetite for cringe, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.